Hi, my name is Anurag Kedia and I am the co-founder of Pilgrim. Pilgrim is a brand which offers more than 150 SKUs across hair, skin and color cosmetics. We started our journey in 2019, and before we delve deeper into the Pilgrim journey, I'd like to share a little bit about me. I come from Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh, was born and brought up there, and while growing up, my elder sister will often be talking about natural remedies, skincare remedies from the kitchen, and I got pretty excited about them. We also had plenty of newspapers coming in to our home, and every newspaper will typically carry a section on natural remedies, which got me very excited about the potential of beauty products and beauty ingredients. I came to IIT Bombay to study chemical engineering and then went to IIM Ahmedabad to study marketing. 2007 to 2018, I ran a chain of spas, salons and Ayurveda clinics where I learned the different facets of beauty and wellness businesses. So 2019, when we were looking at starting something afresh, Pilgrim came naturally as a choice in terms of offering beauty products which were efficacious, which were nature-based and something unique. So Pilgrim has been built basis the needs of our consumers. So when we started speaking to our consumers, we realized that many of our consumers were buying beauty products when they were traveling internationally, or they were requesting friends and family to carry products back when they were coming back from an international trip. Many of these products were either not available in India, or when they were available, they were super expensive and beyond the reach of most of the Indian consumers, which is how the idea of Pilgrim came about. So Pilgrim is a traveler. It travels to different parts of the world, collecting different natural beauty secrets which are powerful, which are efficacious, and brings them to the Indian audience at an affordable price point, at a price point which is India friendly. So in the early days, we were a 5-member team, and all the 5 members of that team continue to be with Pilgrim. While the team has grown multifold, now at the head office itself, we have close to an 80 people team. We have another 50 people team which manages our call center, and an 80 people team which is a part of our offline team, which is feet on street, spread across the country. So now currently we have a team of more than 200 employees. However, the good thing about this entire team has been it's a very passionate team, it's a very young team, and our attrition is very, very low. Many a times we have seen employees leave us because they want to go abroad or study further, and these are initiatives we are very happy to kind of support. One of our employees managed to encash her ESOP. She was one of the 5-6 employees which was there in the early days. She managed to encash her ESOPs, and she used that money to study in Canada, which we are very proud of. So as a team, we think maintaining an informal culture, keeping it flexible, keeping it fun, because as a startup we end up working very hard, so it's important that we are having fun at work and we're looking forward to coming to office every day. We offer volcanic lava ash from Jeju in Korea, French red wine from Bordeaux, France, Australian kakadu plum, Australian tea tree, patwa, which is a unique ingredient from the Amazon rainforest and very powerful for dry and frizzy hair to make them smooth, soft and shiny. So Pilgrim offers many of these unique natural beauty ingredients from around the world and brings them to India to offer it to the Indian audience. When we were starting Pilgrim, there were more than 400 beauty brands which were digitally native in nature already in 2019. Now perhaps that number is more than 1,000 digital native beauty brands. So how do you differentiate and create trust in such a cluttered market? Couple of things we have always focused at Pilgrim is that the products have to really work. So anybody who's purchased the product, they have to come back and buy again from us, and that's been our guiding philosophy and guiding principle. So one of the most important reasons why Pilgrim continues to grow and see so much consumer love is because our products really deliver. Apart from this, you also have to take care of the entire consumer journey. So right from the first point of touch, when the consumer discovers the brand, whether it is on our social media feed, on our website or on the marketplace, the imagery which you lay out is extremely critical. The reviews and ratings which she reads, which has been given by other consumers, is also equally critical. And hence, each of these touch points is important to take care of, and even one lapse on the touch point can create a dissonance in the mind of the consumers. If the consumer chooses to make a purchase, how much is the delivery time? Have we given the communication in terms of how much time it will take to deliver? Then actually are we meeting the deadlines which we have given the consumer? The unboxing experience, which is now very, very important for any beauty brand, that the brown box, once it reaches you, that bundle of joy which is going to come out of that brown box. How nicely is it packed? Earlier, most brands were using a bubble wrap to provide safety. Now, brands like us, which are very environmentally conscious, have moved to a hexa wrap, which is a paper-based wrap, and it still takes care of the products. If you are looking to start a digitally native brand in any category, I think 3+1 is my formula. 3 important things, and there is a 4th one which was given to me by a very senior entrepreneur. I am very happy to share all of those with you. 3 critical skills which you will require to build any digitally native brand. The first is domain strength or product know-how. So many of you might come from a specific domain. If you have understanding of fashion, look at something in apparels or home furnishings. If you come from a footwear industry, look at footwear. But in case you do not have the domain expertise already, partner with somebody who can help you get the domain expertise. Or go and do an internship in a larger firm, spend 6 months, spend a year, learn the domain, learn the product, because finally, irrespective of how much good marketing you are doing, the consumers will come back only for a great quality product. So this is the first critical thing for any founding team to inculcate, that the domain knowledge, the product knowledge has to be extremely strong. The second is what is called as growth hacking. If you have a great product, not all great products are going to sell in the market. How do you really create demand so that consumers know about you and are creating trials for your brand when you are in the younger stages, when word of mouth has not kicked in, or even when word of mouth has started happening? How do you accelerate the growth of your company? By generating demand through performance marketing, through marketplace growth hacking, through SEO, through SMO, through website conversion rate optimization, and through various tips and techniques which are available in the market. And the third one is, how do you build a good brand? And brand goes beyond just demand generation. Brand is an accumulation of everything the consumer has seen about your product, about your company, about your brand. It goes far beyond the logo, the brand name, and the narrative which you have put out. What is the story you are telling the consumers on? What are you offering? Why are you offering? How are you offering? And how are you different from the rest of the competition? So these 3 key pillars, if you are able to take care of, the first one being domain knowledge or product knowledge, second growth hacking, and third is brand marketing. And the fourth one, which becomes very important, especially at scale, is cash flow management. Many of the entrepreneurs do not come from a finance or an accounts background. You could be coming from an engineering background or a non-commercial background. It's very important to read P&L, balance sheet, and equally important to understand how the cash flow is happening, because many a times you could be breaking even or making some money on the P&L, but the cash flows are not in place because working capital is taking up all the money. So this 3+1 formula is what I have followed so far, and I will urge you to look at it very closely. So often founders ask me what is the right time to raise funds, or if they have not been able to raise funds, how do they grow the business? I think it's a myth to say that you can build a large and successful business, especially in the consumer space, only if you have raised funds. We have plenty of examples of beauty brands in other categories who have not raised a single penny and have still managed to grow the business to a sizable scale. So even if you raise funds, be very, very frugal, be very cost conscious. In the early days, I remember we had a team of exactly 5 people. One person was in accounts, one in the creative team, me and Gagan, my co-founder, and one person to lead the digital marketing. And this 5-member team is what scaled the business to close to 1 crore a month. And this was while we had raised a seed round. We ended up not using a lot of the money of the seed round. We started breaking even in the 3rd month of our launch, and we were very, very frugal. Eventually we did end up raising 2 subsequent rounds. One was a Series A round, which was a $2 million round, which was led by Fireside Ventures, and the latest one is a couple of months back, which we have raised with Vertex Ventures and Fireside Ventures and Narottam Siksaria Family Office, where we have raised $20 million, out of which part of it is primary capital, which means it has come to the company, and part of it is to provide exits to our angel investors. So funding is an option at different points of time, but funding should not become a roadblock, that if funding is not happening, growth should not happen, or our aspiration should not be there to grow. So one of the things which I have learned is this too shall pass. There have been periods when there have been a lot of challenges. One such period is the period of COVID. It seems like a distant memory now, but I remember that when the entire lockdown had happened and there were salaries to be paid and we were bootstrapped, very little seed money we had raised. And after 2 months we started thinking that if this continues for another 3 months, 6 months, 5, or in a year, what will we do, because we were running out of money and we did not want to stop the salaries. One of the very touching stories which had come about was some of our employees woke up and said, that even if their salaries were cut down or postponed by a couple of months, or they had to let go of their salaries for a couple of months, they were okay and they were willing to support us. It was very touching to see people who are fresh and early in their careers make such an offer. Thankfully that period got over in a couple of months and things started improving. And many other times we have seen that there have been very stressful periods which we have undergone. Even periods of high points sometimes get combined with our low points. For example, one of our first sale, which we had set out for our birthday month, which is in August, we saw phenomenal response. But at the same time, we saw some tech issues, the website breaking down. It is a happy sad situation because we were very happy that so many orders were flowing in. But the sad part was, some customers were very unhappy that they couldn't place an order at the right period of time, and that led to a lot of negative comments on our Instagram. So our entire team, kept awake late in the night trying to resolve the tech issues and at the same time acting as customer support. So it's been a journey, full of ups and downs. At the same time, it's been a lot of fun facing all the challenges and building the company together along with the team. I'm very happy that I'm a part of the advisory board at CMPL now. CMPL is doing a phenomenal job of creating an ecosystem of FMCG, contract manufacturing and private label. I still remember that in the early days we had such a struggle, finding the right partners, and even as we are expanding, we're always constantly looking for new partners to join hands with us. I have personally, and Pilgrim has been a beneficiary of the ecosystem and the expos and the trade shows which CMPL is doing, and I'm sure it will be a great benefit to everybody in the ecosystem.